to Tibbers Den, everyone. My name is Whitney, and welcome to another Cast Monday. If you did not see last week's video, definitely check it out. I will leave it linked in the description below, as well as at the end of this video. But pretty much, we did the stereotypical farmer's daughter, which I absolutely loved creating. And this week, we are carrying on with that series and doing the stereotypical golden boy. I definitely would say I struggled a little bit more this week than I did last week. And I think that's just from a personal aspect. I can relate a little bit more to the farmer's daughter. And so it was a little bit easier to kind of develop her character past just the stereotype. Where with the golden boy, I had no personal reference whatsoever. And so I think I did struggle a little bit more this week. But I still loved creating him and his family. The build was super difficult, so make sure you come back Friday and check that out and let me know how you think I did, because I struggled hardcore with the build. I definitely found creating these characters a lot easier than doing the build. But either way, I had a lot of fun, and I think this stereotype was a really good inspiration to create these characters. And if you did not check out last week's video, I just want to say I'm not doing this because I put any weight into stereotypes. I think stereotypes in real life are super problematic, but as far as creating a character and kind of poking fun at the stereotypes, since they are problematic but they are so ingrained in our culture, I thought it would be a fun little series to do and just kind of get some inspiration for some different characters to put into my save file. So that's kind of why I'm doing this series. But pretty much right here we have Grayson James Huntington III. I figured when I think of the stereotypical golden boy, you definitely have the big long name that he got from his father. And another aspect is definitely a sibling that never quite adds up or is as successful as their older brother. So I did create a younger brother for him, who they're both supposed to be going into the family business, which Grayson here is all down for. He's ready to join the family business as soon as he graduates. But his younger brother is more into art and just doesn't quite fit in with the rest of the family. And I thought that was really, really important to create for the overall stereotype. And so you kind of get a 2-for-1 character, because I think that's kind of another stereotype, is the younger brother that never quite adds up. I don't know that there's necessarily a name to that stereotype, but it definitely is, I would say, a stereotype for sure. So but anyway, right now we're creating Grayson James Huntington III, and he is athletic, he is a bro, and he is super outgoing. So he does really well in sports, in school. He's super popular with the guys and the females. You know, they all kind of want to hang out with him or date him, things like that. And like I said, his parents kind of have him on a pedestal. He's being groomed to go into the family business and take on that responsibility as he gets older. And so they kind of have him on a pedestal and just absolutely adore him and kind of spoil him a little bit. And so that's kind of the stereotype, but there's definitely a lot more to him. You know, he works hard at what he does. It doesn't necessarily just come easy to him. And he's definitely friendly with his brother. You know, I know a lot of times in the TV shows and such, they kind of pick on their younger sibling, but for him, you know, he may not understand his younger brother, but he definitely supports him, even though his parents maybe are a little bit harder on him than they are Grayson here. So that's kind of the character development I'm going with for these guys. So for his outfits, I really tried to go as polished as possible while still keeping in mind that he is a teenager. So I wanted kind of like a preppy type vibe for him. So I went with a lot of collared shirts, fitted outfits, nothing too baggy or ripped or patched up or anything like that. I really, like I said, wanted kind of a preppy vibe for him. So hopefully I was able to get that across. It was definitely the hardest part would be his workout outfit and his sleepwear and the swimsuits as well. I think that was the hardest part for all of them. But I hopefully I did a good job overall. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If there's anything you might have done a little bit different, or what you think I did well, things like that. As I've said before, I really started this channel to grow and get better, not only at Creative Sim, but building as well. So any feedback would be greatly appreciated from you guys. So yeah, let me know what you think. But overall, I think I got the overall vibe, and it's definitely way different than his brothers. I would say his brothers, I went a little bit, well, because his brother doesn't really fit in. So I stayed away from like ripped clothes as much as possible. But he does have like a baggier outfits and not quite as nice as his brothers. The only thing I'm not quite sure fits the aesthetic I was going for would be I do put like a little beanie hat on him for his cold weather outfit, and I'm not sure how much that would fit for his aesthetic. It definitely would have worked for his brothers, but I didn't do that for his brother. And so I don't know how well that works, but other than that, I'm pretty happy. I don't know if you guys noticed for his workout outfit, I did put like a little the emblem sweatpants on him. And for me, I thought about doing like a uniform because they would definitely go to private school. So I thought about doing a uniform for both him and his brother's everyday look. But I decided I just really didn't want to go that route. And so I didn't. But I did want to kind of tie that in. And so for his workout outfit, I used sweatpants with the little emblem, thinking that maybe that was his gym clothes from school, and he wears them to work out in regardless. I tried to go that route to maybe like sneak that little tidbit in there. And now we are on to his father, and I definitely found creating his dad and his mom a lot easier than I did creating them. I think just because to get that polished and wealthy look, it was easier to do that for an adult than a teenager and still keep the teenage vibe. I'm most proud of their party outfits and their hot weather outfits. I definitely love both of those outfits. It kind of gives me a weekend at the Hamptons vibe slash, his hot weather, could kind of see for like a golf vibe as well. I absolutely adore, especially the wife. I love that look on a woman, and so I really enjoyed creating some of her outfits. But for him, I was particularly pleased that they had this suit and matching pants. I thought that was perfect for his everyday look. For his career, I did end up going with, of course, the business career, but I went with the investor path instead of management. Because in my mind, I could see maybe his father created an investment firm, and then he took that over, and he's now the CEO of this investment firm. And then he's grooming his son, his oldest son, since the other son doesn't have any interest in it. But he's grooming him to kind of take over once he graduates from high school and college and such. He'll go into the family business and take over one day. Where, like I said, he would definitely want both his sons to kind of follow in his footsteps, but the younger son, Julian, he has no interest in that. He wants to pursue a creative path instead of going into the family business, which I'm sure really frustrates him to no end. But at the same time, I think they understand it on some level, but because it is that stereotype, he definitely wants his children, and so he's probably a little bit harder on the younger son than the son that's following in his footsteps and following the path they kind of wanted for their children. But here we're creating his sleepwear, and I think again his workout outfit and his sleepwear along with the wife's was kind of hard to get that wealthy look, but they did have this pajama top that looks kind of like silky and is collared and such. So I went with that for the sleepwear to still kind of get that vibe. Um, and so here I'm just double checking what I dressed his son in, and now I'm looking for some pants, which I found. Um, these I just went with jeans since this was a party look, a little bit more dressed down, but still pretty polished. And I found shoes that matched his shirt and jacket. I thought that would be something, that he would definitely kind of match those together. And I just like how he turned out. I like that outfit, but my favorite is definitely his hot weather. You'll see he has like a collared shirt, and then there was some plaid pants, which I've always wanted to use, and I just never had a sim that kind of had the right vibe for those, especially a male sim. And so I was finally able to use those pants, and I think they're perfect. Like I said, this kind of gives me, maybe a weekend at the Hamptons, but kind of more of like maybe he's going golfing type vibe. I don't know, but either way, I love this outfit. I love how it turned out. And for his cold weather wear, pretty simple. I just went with like a nice jacket and kind of like a vest underneath. Um, there's not a lot of good choices for the cold weather, for nicer options, I don't think. And so that's the look I ended up going with for him on that. And that's him for his outfits. And now we're going to move on to the mom. I wasn't quite sure what to name her. And so I just hit the random button and it came up with Camille. And so I ended up going with that name. I thought that was a very pretty name and worked well for the stereotype I was going for. And so for her, I gave her the fabulously wealthy, self-assured, materialistic, and snob traits. I thought that was perfect. I kind of wanted to stay in to the stereotypes, and I debated which direction to go, because I think with like the golden boy stereotype, you kind of have two ways you can go as far as appearance. And well, especially the mom, I think you can go like the the trophy wife route, or you can go the very successful businesswoman route. And so I wanted to go obviously with the very successful businesswoman. So I made her a private attorney. The law career, you can go either private attorney or judge, and I got more of the private attorney from her. And so they're kind of a power couple. They're both super successful and well off. Like, they don't rely on each other for money at all. They both kind of have their own business ventures and do really well with that. And so that's kind of the vibe I went with her versus like a trophy wife type thing. I wanted that power couple, and they would both expect a lot from their children because they're both successful. For her, again, I struggled trying to get the right look for her. I didn't want her to look too young, but at the same time, she would definitely take really good care of her skin and such. And so I didn't want her to look too old either. And I did end up going with I have a quick makeup in the skin detail, so I ended up going with that, and it gives her blue eyes, which I was completely fine with. And I do give their other son blue eyes as well to kind of match hers. But I didn't figure she would be very heavy on the makeup. She would keep it simple since she is an attorney. She wouldn't want to be too dramatic with the makeup. But I really like her outfits as well. For her every day, I went, with a blouse and a jacket and a classic skirt and heels. Definitely something kind of more businessy, law-like, and so it fits her career as well. And then, her position as far as wealth and whatnot. So I really like her. And I did paint her nails. And I do switch. I went with a lighter color originally, and I switched to a slightly darker color, and I just did the same nails for all her outfits. And then, of course, I think she would definitely wear pantyhose. I think that would be something standard for a lawyer. I mean, not all lawyers, obviously, but for the vibe I was going for, I definitely thought it was important to put pantyhose on her. And then for her formal look, I definitely wanted to really glam her up. And she would not have her hair down. That's the only thing that frustrates me about custom content hair. It is sometimes hard to match, an updo with the hair that you have in their everyday look. And so I managed to find one. It's a game hair, but I think it works well because I didn't have any custom content that was really up and short enough to go with her everyday hair. So I went with this one from the game, and I thought that looked really pretty on her and works well for her formal look. And then it did switch my hair to a lighter tone, so I had to fix that. That was a little bit frustrating because I had that more blonde tone, and it went for like a whiter tone instead. But I fixed that, and it was all well. And so again, her workout outfit and her sleepwear kind of struggled a little bit with, but I could see, this outfit's pretty standard for anybody, but I could see a wealthy woman wearing it as well. Definitely more fitted, not too loose, not showing too much either. And for her sleepy time outfit, I went a little bit more casual for this outfit. Again, didn't really know what she would wear to bed, but I didn't want to do anything too over the top, so I went with the slippers, and then I found matching pants and just a nice loose tank top, where I think, she would want to be kind of comfortable. She might work late into the night on cases, bring files to bed, and so she has her glasses, and she's just in a comfortable outfit versus an overly fancy outfit. That's kind of the vibe I was going for. And then for her party look here, I was trying to find different tops. I didn't know whether I wanted to still keep it really conservative or go a little bit more daring. And I ended up finding the perfect outfit in full body wear. And I absolutely love it. And I don't know, I know I've seen it before, but I've never seen this swatch before. And I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a good color for her. It's still very polished and put together, but a little bit more fun. And so that's why I went with that outfit, and I absolutely love it. And then I did put on a little necklace to go with it. Just, she might dress up a little bit more if she's going to a party to hang out with friends or going for a weekend at the Hamptons. I don't know why I'm stuck on that stereotype of the Golden family, but I think it's because you see that in TV shows all the time with the wealthy families. So obviously very clearly part of the stereotype as well. For her swimwear, pretty basic. I didn't go too conservative with that. I figured, she works hard on her body, so in some instances like swimming and such, she might not hesitate to show off a little bit. And then for her hot weather wear, again, absolutely love what I found. Debated on a few pieces here or there, was trying to decide, but when I came across this button-up shirt, I thought that went really well with her husband, and then these white cut-off pants, or capris, whatever you want to call them. Again, I just thought that went really well with what I put her husband in, and I thought it worked really well, for a hot weather wear look and maybe a weekend off. Again, going to the Hamptons. I couldn't resist putting that in there again. And then for her cold weather look, there just wasn't anything that I really liked as far as like jacket wise or anything. So I just went with this turtleneck sweater. Pretty basic. I know I've used the sweater on several Sims before, but I really like how it looks. And for her, I didn't like some of the other things. And then I put matching pink boots. So pretty basic for her cold weather wear as well. And now we get to create the little brother, and I actually like the Golden Boy better than I do like the little brother. I think he kind of has a chip on his shoulder, and so I named him Julian Edward. I wanted the Edward. I figured that's probably another family name, maybe from her side. So I wanted that in there because I think that's kind of a classic wealthy name. And so I did for his first name, though I wasn't sure what to go with. So again, I just hit the random button until I found one that I liked, and so he's Julian Edward Huntington. And for him, I gave him the painting extraordinaire aspiration. He's creative and he is an art lover. And so since his family is wealthy, they might, frequent like art shows and exhibits and such. And so he maybe fell in love with art through them, but he wanted to be on the other side. He wanted to be the one creating the art, not just admiring it or purchasing it or things like that. And his family really doesn't understand him. So, like I said, he kind of has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, and he's kind of frustrated with them as well. And I thought about going with these, well, not these pants, but there's another set of pants that are like these that have the paintbrushes. They're from the Get Famous pack, I'm pretty certain. And they have the little paintbrushes, and I know it's for makeup, but I thought that was a cute touch and maybe would be cute for him. But then I decided I'd rather him go, he's more into like photography and digital art and like drawing, not full on painting. And so I ended up going with a lot of like pants and shorts and such that had like more of the cargo pants that had the pockets and whatnot. And so he could put his camera or his sketch pad in his pockets as he was going out and about. He would always have that on him for an opportunity to draw or take a photo or something as he was out and about. So that's kind of the vibe I went with him. And then, he has button-up shirts, but he wears them in a very different manner than his brother. And so he still has the collared shirts and such, but he's a little bit more relaxed and loose fit and such than his family. Like I said, for his formal wear, I definitely think his parents would put their foot down and you need to dress appropriately for this event. And so I did go, but I went with a tuxedo. It's not a tuxedo, it's a suit, right? Or a tuxedo, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below whether it's a tuxedo or a suit. You tell I don't have very much experience with it, but I went with a red color, just kind of a little bit different and kind of stands out a little bit more, but still acceptable enough for his parents. And then pretty basic for his sleepwear and his workout wear. For his party attire, I just went, again, very simple, nothing too over the top, just a shirt and some jeans. And then his hot weather wear, again, a collared shirt, but it's open and he has a shirt underneath. And then I found some cargo shorts as well, and just some sandals, which his family wouldn't necessarily approve of that look either. They probably would think it's a little too sloppy, but because it's not an event or anything, there's really nothing they could say too much about it. And then for his cold weather, I went with these pants with pockets, and then I did find like a striped shirt and jacket combo that's a little bit more polished than some of his other outfits, but I think it adds to his kind of character because he does come from the same family, so you would still have access to some of the nicer pieces of clothing, but he definitely just dresses them down a little bit and dresses a little bit different than the rest of the family. But that is it for my golden boy and his family. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a like, and also remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you are notified when I upload. Stick around to the very end and you will see a little bit of a sneak peek of the build, and we will see you guys on Friday. Have a good week, guys. Bye.